What's going on, everybody? This is Joe, and I am here live at Champion Card Collector in Poughkeepsie, New York for the Edge of Eternities pre-release. And so today, I am going to be opening not one, not two, but 3 pre-release kits from the brand new set. Hopefully you all have gotten a chance to check out our other videos that we've made around Edge of Eternities. We have done 12 boxes, I should say. We've opened 12 boxes of this set already. So if that's something that you're interested in, I will try to link that up in the top right-hand corner for you, as well as we have played this set for 12 hours. It's the number 12 is the magic number. And you can check that stream out as well if you have not already. It says, find magic among the stars. And this planet looks like a microphone. I'm just throwing that out there. We obviously will only have to look at one of these, and then the rest of them will all be the same. So we will look at it only once. We've got this person in what I assume is a spacecraft looking out at space battle as well as some planets out there, so that's kind of cool. We have, I guess these are charge counters for the spacecraft, +1/+1 counters, stun counters, and then there's more stun and +1/+1 on this side, and charge on this side. Okay, here, that's actually really cool, is the set symbol, I guess, or the little magic symbol on this. I like that. That's cool looking. And again, we won't have to do this again. On the inside of the box, there's usually something. You guys can see that. That is the, that like dying star or whatever, the black hole that's there. So you can see that also. That's fun. We'll leave that on the side. We have the white D20 with the kind of black hole set symbol as the 20. So we'll leave that off on the side. Check out all of those that we get today. And on the inside of the box, move that out of the way, we have what we're all here for, of course, the packs themselves, right? We'll move those over here. We have the divider that they give you for separating your deck and your sideboard or whatever. This one's not as cool as some of them have been in the past. It's just kind of meh, in my opinion. You can let me know your thoughts in the comments down below about anything that I talk about today, by the way. There is the insert for building a pre-release deck. And that also talks about the set, a little bit of flavor for it, the Sothera system. I'll probably read that a little bit more if and when I do an individual opening, but we're not going to do it for this. But you could also have paused and checked it out there. But in this little packet, there is one card, and it is our promo foil, rare or mythic. And it is a Corral of the Void, which looks incredible in foil, by the way. My God, I like that. We can take, we enchant one of our creatures, and when that creature attacks, we take one of their creatures from their graveyard, put it onto the battlefield under our control, tapped and attacking, and if there was Void was triggered, then we sack this aura. Oh, right, we have to sack it if we don't trigger Void every turn. That's a lot, I feel like. But still, maybe you only want to do it the first turn and you don't care about the second one, but still. But let's get into the first pack. There's Tezzeret on these Play Booster packs. We've got Plasma Bolt as our first card. That's a very good one. By the way, if you've never watched these videos before, I do like to try to decide what I would play if I opened this pre-release kit, so I'd love some assistance in the comments down below, but keep an eye out for that in terms of what you might want to play out of this kit. We have a Hull Carver as well. That's a good one. A Mental Modulation Lux Knight Breacher. This card's incredible. Obviously, you know, white and red wants to go wide, I think, if I remember correctly. One of the decks is the Go Wide deck, and it's part white, and so this card in that deck is incredible. We have a Biosynthetic Burst. I actually really like this card also. A Thawbringer. Not bad, not bad. Red Tiger Mechan as one of the Warp cards. The Warp cards are very good. A Molecular Modification as our first uncommon. This card's also good. I'm just saying that about all of them, right? We have a Dauntless Scrapbot as the second uncommon, and a Blade of the Swarm as the third. Now, the way that play boosters work, the next card is going to be something, we don't know. Could be an uncommon, could be from the bonus sheet. There's a lot of different options. So, our next card is Yeah, so it is a Stellar Sight from the bonus sheet. It is Scavenger Grounds. These are legal to use in your pre-release events or your drafts or whatever, what have you, for limited. I don't know that I would use this one in particular, but still, I guess you could sideboard it if they're doing graveyard shenanigans, I suppose, but it's really not going to be high up there on my list at all. But it is very cool art. I'm happy that I opened it. And now our rare or mythic, I guess, is a Beyond the Quiet. Now, this is a very good card. If we're in white, this gets in. This is a very good board wipe. Good stuff. And the only board wipe in the set, to my knowledge. But anyway, behind Beyond the Quiet, our foil, yes, is a rescue skiff, a foil spacecraft. We talked about this during the stream, the streamer event, sponsored by Wizards of the Coast. Not every spacecraft is good. This one's not bad, actually. 6 mana, get something back from your graveyard to the battlefield, creature or enchantment. And then this needs 10 plus to be a 5/6 flyer, but basically, the way that we were talking about it, the way that I believe about these types of cards, is that if you don't like the card without it becoming a creature, do not play it. So because I don't mind this as a way to return a creature from or enchantment from your graveyard to the battlefield, I would probably play this one. But anyway, and that's 2 good white cards in the same pack, so that's nice. And then behind it, our land is a regular mountain and a robot/drone token. Very nice. Next, in the Edge of Eternities play boosters, we have another Hull Carver. That's 2 of those, something to keep track of. They are also artifacts. There are decks that care about artifacts. So, blue-white or red-blue, I think. Mental Modulation again. Lux Knight Breacher again. Lots of duplicates. Diplomatic Relations, that's a good one. An Oreplate Pangolin, if you're in the deck that this wants to be in, this is a good one. We have a Perigee Beckoner. Not bad, not bad. Again, with Warp, it's very good. I like this one. A Nanoform Sentinel. A Survey Mechan is our first uncommon. Not bad, not bad. And a Specimen Freighter is the second. A Melt Strider Eulogist is the third. This isn't bad either. The green-white strategy is +1/+1 counters. And so our next card is another uncommon in Scout for Survivors. This card got us good against one particular opponent during the stream. You can go check it out for yourselves, and you'll see what I mean. We played that opponent 3 times in a row. It was rough, but this card was very good for them. Obviously, in the right deck, this card can be great. But our rare or mythic is... Whoops, that's our foil. A Moonlit Meditation. I love this art. My God, it's so pretty. So pretty. Okay, I mean... this is like a very corner case for this rare, so that's not ideal, but still, I still like our white rare a lot. Behind Moonlit Meditation, our foil, you may have seen it already, is a very good one in Depressurize. I do actually really like this. I like the foiling a lot, but like the card is just great. Really, really cool. And our land is also in foil, a foil regular island, but gorgeous. I mean, the land arts are absolutely gorgeous. Love that. We've also got a robot/sliver token. Nice. There's the one, like, rare or mythic that makes slivers in the set. Just the one, to my knowledge. Correct me if I'm wrong, as always, in the comments down below. On anything, because I'm not infallible, but I have played this set for 12 hours, so there's that. We have a Comet Crawler. Not bad. White-black looking pretty good so far. We have a Sinister Cryologist. I really like these jellyfish cards. They just look amazing. They're also, I mean, they play pretty well as well, but still. We have an Auxiliary Boosters. I know my wife Amy is a big fan of this card. We have another Diplomatic Relations. I do like this one. You have to have creatures, obviously, but still. Cavarone Skywarden. First one of these cards that we're like talking about where I'm not a big fan. We've got a Gravblade Heavy. Okay, sure. We have a Pinnacle Killship. Yeah, I don't know about this one, right? It's 7 mana, and then you still have to put 7 power into it. It deals 10 damage, but it's basically just 7 mana, kill a creature, and it's a 7/7. After 7 power goes into it, like, I don't know. I'm not as high on this one, I won't lie. We have a Pull Through the Weft, which is an incredible piece of art. If you're in the landfall deck, obviously, right? Yeah, because then you can get lands as well. Not bad at all, not bad. And that's our first uncommon. We have a Sammy Ship's Engineer. Okay, I mean, we were looking at how good our white was. I actually don't love this effect, to be honest. That like have 2 tapped creatures, obviously. Well, not obviously. The white-red deck wants to be spacecraft, so I said go wide for that. I was wrong. This one wants to be with spacecraft, so because you're going to be tapping your creatures to station your spacecraft, you would have tapped creatures to get these benefits of another tapped creature. So, like, you're still not helping yourself in terms of the fact that you're losing out on blockers to station your spacecraft, but still. So I'm not a big fan of Sammy Ship's Engineer, personally. We have a Starfield Shepherd as our third uncommon. This card is pretty damn cool. Warp, get a land, later on, play a 3/2 flyer, get a land, like... That's pretty good. Or a small creature, I suppose, but still. Which means our next card is... This is gorgeous also, by the way, if that needs to be said. Another uncommon in Scrounge for Eternity. Sacrificing an artifact or a creature in this set is very easy because there are a lot of things that make lander tokens. And those lander tokens are artifacts, and you can sack them not to go get a land, especially if it's later in the game. You don't necessarily need to get a land, except maybe to thin your deck or for landfall purposes. But if you're in black, you're likely not doing too much landfall. But still, this is a pretty good card, is, I guess, what I'm getting at. Our next rare or mythic is... a Cavarone Memorial World Mythic. Enters taps for a red because it's a land, it's a planet. It does have station. If it gets to 12 plus, you can pay 2, tap, and sack a land to make a robot, and give all your creatures +1/+0 and haste until end of turn. Do I think that that's an amazing effect? No, but I'm happy that we have one of these cool lands. I feel like this is a lot... These planets are a lot more for constructed than limited, again, in my opinion. But you can let me know. Maybe you got somebody with this thing during pre-release. If you're watching this after the fact, you're always more than welcome. Let us know in the comments down below. But we got a mythic. That's great. Which means our foil is... a Grovkill. That is a very good card. Okay, and that is a foil common. But still, I don't know that... well, okay, the foiling pattern of, like, the black hole in the background is pretty damn good. I won't lie. And, yeah, like I said, incredible card, good removal, instant speed, 4 mana, like exile something. Absolutely incredible. There is a regular forest behind that, and a lander token, as I was saying, and a human soldier. These landers are cool. I like the way that they look. I like the flavor behind them. I think they're really good. And like I said, they're everywhere in this set, so they play quite well. With, like, you know, sacrifice effects and things like that. It's not going to be hard to get landers. That's all I'm saying. We have a Melded Moxite as our first card in this pack. Comet Crawler again, very nice. A Sinister Cryologist again. And Auxiliary Boosters again. Do I like this one? Yeah, I guess it's not bad. It's not amazing. It's 5 mana to make a 3/4 flying robot. Okay, not bad, not bad. We have another Diplomatic Relations. That's 3 Diplomatic Relations. A lot of duplicates in this pack. We noticed that. Another Cavarone Skywarden. Nope, don't do that. We have a Dock Worker Drone. So again, this is the green-white with the +1/+1 counter strategy. This is another one of those +1/+1 counter cards. We have a Terrapact Intimidator as our first uncommon. This is a very good card. Makes a lander, or it's got 2 landers or 2 counters for 2 mana. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. It's your opponent's choice, but still, like, either way, you're probably pretty happy about it. This is a good one. We have a Pulsar Squadron Ace, and we have an Umbral Collar Zealot as our 3 uncommons. This is one of your unconditional sack outlets if you're trying to do sacrificing things. But that means that our next card is another uncommon in Unravel. Counter target spell. Okay, and then you could draw a card, but still, it's 3 mana instant. Not bad at all. Again, I'm not really looking at blue right now, but still, I love our white and our black so far. Let's see if this rare or mythic makes things easier or more complicated for me. We've got a Synthesizer Lab Ship. That does make things more difficult. I do like this thing. I don't think it's necessarily a reason to immediately go into blue, but if we open other good blue cards, this one is pretty damn good. I'm not a big fan of the Moonlit Meditation one that we have, but the Synthesizer Lab Ship is great. I am of the spacecraft that there is in the set, this is probably one of the better ones that I've played with, so I do like this one. Behind it, our foil is, ooh, gorgeous. A foil uncommon in Starfield Shepherd. Absolutely gorgeous in foil. Those colors are incredible. Look at that. Love, love, love that. Wow. Yeah, I like that a lot. Okay. And I mean, again, a second one of these, not too bad. It's a pretty good card. So I would probably play both. Behind it, we have a regular forest, although, again, these land arts are insane. Love them. And a lander / robot token. No full art lands yet, though, I've noticed. I mean, we've got more kits to open and more packs in this kit to open. So hopefully we'll get at least one that you can see, or so that you can see what it looks like. Otherwise, obviously, you can go watch that big video that we made. I'm starting to like our green a lot better as well. I won't lie. Drix Fate Master, or Maker, excuse me, is a very good card. Very, very good. You can warp it, get a counter, and your creatures have trample, like a counter on one of your creatures, and your creature that has a counter on it has trample until end of turn, basically, because it's warped. And then this comes into play, put a counter on another different creature, and then both of them have trample. Like, really, really nice. And then obviously, if you're in the +1/+1 counter strategy, I just really like this card. We have another Melded Moxite. Another Comet Crawler. Good God, man. Another Sinister Cryologist. So many duplicates. And Auxiliary Boosters. Lost in Space. That's a unique one. Temporal Intervention. I'm not as big of a fan of this one. Even with Void. There's an Interceptor Mechan as our first uncommon. We did... yeah, I don't know. I don't think we would be able to play this one. But like I said, that's our first. Hymn of the Faller is the second. I don't hate this one. Even if you can't trigger Void, it's still pretty good. You surveil one, draw a card, lose a life. But if you do trigger Void, you surveil one, draw a card, lose a life, and then draw a card. Like, that's pretty good. We have Tractor Beam. This one's not bad as our third and final uncommon. Although, we don't actually know because the next card is... another uncommon. I was right. In Melt Strider Eulogist again. Again, more duplicates. But that means our next rare or mythic is an Extinguisher Battleship. I mean, yeah, 8 mana to destroy a non-creature permanent and deal 4 damage to each creature. And then the station is only 5+ to make this a 10/10 flying trample. That is not bad. Obviously, if you don't think you can get to 8, like this is sealed that we're talking about, or I guess we're talking about pre-release, but if you don't think you can get to 8, maybe you shouldn't be playing this, but like as like the one top end that you have, especially if you have lander tokens to make sure that you're hitting your land drops and stuff like that, this is not bad at all. Behind it, our foil, yes, is a foil uncommon in Reroute Systems. Okay, I mean, I like this card a lot, to be honest. It does really cool stuff. Either of the effects. Destroy a creature, or sorry. Give one of your creatures or artifacts indestructible until end of turn, or 2 damage to a tapped creature. Like, that's really great. It's at instant speed. Yeah, I like this card a lot, and not a bad card in foil either. Our land is a regular forest and a lander / robot token. Last pack for Kit 1, which right now I think our white is very good. The question is, are we in white black? Are we in white red? Are we in white blue? Are we in white green? We have a lot of like good non-rare and mythic green cards. Interesting. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm still going to lean maybe towards black, but that green is very tempting to me, I won't lie. We have a Graveblade Heavy. Maybe this pack helps us. We have a Divert Disaster. More counterspells. A Banishing Light. Our white is insane, man. Absolutely insane. Fungal Colossus. This card I absolutely love, even if you're not playing any non-basics. This thing is a 5-mana 5/5. And then if you have non-basics and you happen to have them out, this thing is cheaper than a 5-mana 5/5, and that's phenomenal. But yeah, even as a 5-mana 5/5, this card's great. I would absolutely put it in if I was in green. Another Oreplate Pangolin. Another Lost in Space. I love this art. The colors are incredible. Command Bridge. There's an uncommon, or a non-basic, land for you. I don't know that I'm in love with it. Like, I guess if we're splashing, yes, but if not, even if we were playing the 5/5 that we just talked about, I don't think I would put this in. We might need to be a little bit faster than that. We've got a Scrounge for Eternity again. Second one of these as our first uncommon. We have another, this is our third Starfield Shepherd. That's insane. Would you play all three? Let me know in the comments. I think I would because of the warp, but without the warp, no. I don't think I would put all three of these 5-drops in, but yeah, I think I would because of the warp. I think it's worth it. And again, it gets you lands. It starts, like, helps to ramp you, or at least, again, ensure that you're hitting your land drops. Wow. And a Memorial Team Leader as our third. Another warp creature, not bad at all. Which means our next card is a Seed Ship Agrarian, also not a bad one at all. Landfall, this thing gets a counter, and whenever it becomes tapped, you make a lander, so it just, like, fuels itself and just gets bigger and bigger. Like, this card's incredible. Like I said, I really like our green. But it means that behind it, our last rare or mythic of the pack, unless we get lucky with a foil, is an Astelli Reclaimer. Yeah, the white in this pack, I mean, like, come on, man. That's incredible. This is a very good one. Return a non-creature, non-land permanent with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast this creature. Warp for 3 and or play for 5. And so realize it's either 3 or 5, or less, of course, because it's X or less. Not bad at all for our white cards. Love, love, love it. Behind it, our foil is a foil common in Perigee Beckoner. So like I said, I think our green is very good. I really, really do. I think green is good in this set in general, but I know our white is insane in this pack, or in this kit. So I think I would go green-white, but I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. We did have some good black removal, right? So maybe you're saying, listen, Joe, the creatures are really good in green, but you need the removal from black to support your good white cards. And I absolutely would hear that. So yeah, any thoughts that you have on kit 1, right? Because we got 2 more to go. Behind Perigee Beckoner, a foil mountain as well. Nice. And a lander / human soldier token. Okay, well, 2 kits to go. I guess let's move all this stuff out of the way from kit 1. And we now go into kit 2. And like I said, we don't have to look at everything with this kit because we already did that. So we just move right along with it. And we have inside, oh geez, another white D20. That's a little unfortunate that we got 2 of the same. But the packs themselves, we've got, move these things out of the way. All 6 packs can go over here. These things go away, and our promo foil, rare or mythic, is a Possibility Technician, Kavu Artificer. Oh, sorry, I don't know if that was too reflective, but I'm not loving this foiling pattern, I won't lie. A little dark. I mean, a 3-mana 3/3 is pretty great. Whenever this or another Kavu enters, we exile the top card of our library. It's got Warp as well, and you can play that card as long as you control a Kavu. So we can check and see how many Kavus we end up with. They're like, they incidentally exist because there's a race of Kavu creatures in this set. So, like, if we're in red, we probably would end up with some Kavus, whether we wanted to or not. We have a Ilvoy Operative as our first card. Exosuit Savior as the second. Nutrient Block, very interesting, as the third. If we are in an Artifacts Matter deck, this gets in, no question. We have an Ice Cave Crasher. I do like this one. A Frontline War Rager as the second, and this is a Kavu. There we go. We have a Lost in Space. I don't know why I said as the second before. Ignore that. Another Lost in Space, gorgeous again. Temporal Intervention, still not a fan. Tanuk Memorial Ensign, I am a fan of, though. And it is a Kavu. And it's our first uncommon. And, I mean, I could do Landfall. Landfall is a good deck. So after Tanuk, after our first uncommon, we have Rayblade Trooper. Not a bad one here either. Again, +1/+1 counter type stuff, but still. And a Vault Guard Trooper, which is another Kavu. That's kind of awesome. And it lets you discard your hand to draw 2 cards if you have 2 or more tapped creatures. So not bad. Obviously, even if we're not doing red-white with spacecraft stuff, you could still have tapped creatures. You could still incidentally have a spacecraft, but also you could just be, attacking like sometimes you do in Magic the Gathering. And so you could have tapped creatures and for that reason, and then you would still get this effect. You could discard your hand late in the game where you have one or no cards in your hand and draw a bunch of 2 cards. So not bad at all, which means, but that is our 3rd uncommon. So our next card is, oh my God, a Watery Grave. Very nice. I usually say that I don't like opening the rare lands in pre-release because it's not very often you're going to be able to use them. They're kind of this is blue and black, and right now we're looking at red and green. So like it's neither of them. It doesn't help us splash or anything, but obviously it could help us splash if we were in something and blue and needed to splash black or something like that. But also, let's talk about the fact that this is a shock land, and I'm also not an idiot. My wallet is very happy that I get to open a shock land, so there's that. So here is a Watery Grave, very nice. Behind it, I think we're not into our foil yet, so we have, it's an alt art rare in Zoophyte Osteoharmonist, and this is a gorgeous alt art. I really like this art a lot. And this card is incredible, by the way. Any creature from your graveyard to the battlefield, tapped, it does lose its abilities, but like, come on. And it's a skeleton, but that shouldn't matter. But you get a creature back for free basically every turn after this thing, after you untap with this guy. Absolutely incredible, and the art is phenomenal, like I said. So there's that. Behind it, now our foil is a foil uncommon Dauntless Scrapbot. I'm not in love with this thing. Obviously, again, if they're doing graveyard shenanigans, and since we're in pre-release, you could board this in, right, after game 1, if you notice that they're doing that, because it exiles each opponent's graveyard, and then you make a lander, but it's a 3/1 for 3. Like, besides that ability, I'm not a big fan. And again, the ability is a very corner case, coming in and out of the sideboard. But that means behind it, our next card is an Island. Gorgeous, and a robot/sliver token. Okay, more Tezzeret packs, because they're all going to be Tezzeret packs, because the only other pack arts are for collector boosters. We've got a Star Breach Whale. Very nice. We've got a Starport Security. Germinating Worm. I do like this one. Again, the warp cards are just great. Kav Landseeker, another Kavu. We've been looking at red. So this is a good one. I like this one. Again, it makes landers as well. Embrace Oblivion. I also like this card a lot. Again, all those landers that are around, you just sack a lander and destroy a creature for 1 mana. Like, feels okay. Or spacecraft, of course. We have a Thaumaton Torpedo. A Radiant Strike. Good card. And a Manon Uthros Exile is our first uncommon. We could splash for this if we really wanted to, but it cares about artifacts. I don't know that we're really going to be doing artifacts if we're in the landfall deck, but again, that's not guaranteed either. We've literally opened 1 pack, so this being our second. But still, not a bad card, something to keep an eye out for, I suppose, is cards that work well with this. We have a Hilderblade as our second uncommon, and a Seam Rip as the third. I love this art a lot. But that means our next card is a Roving Actuator. It's a 4-mana 3/4, but if you activate Void, you can exile an instant or a sorcery with mana value 2 or less and recast it, copy it, and cast the copy. But like, I don't know. Again, we don't have many yet that I'm aware of off the top of my head. We can go back and look if we end up in red, but otherwise right now I would by default say probably not with this guy. But again, if we have a couple of good low-costed instances or sorceries, then this would probably get in. But that means our rare or mythic is... Wow, we have a foil rare. That's amazing. Let's talk about that first. We have an Ice Till Explorer. Foil rare. It lets us play additional lands. We can play lands from our graveyard, and landfall we mill a card. Interesting. Okay, so this would work in green-black because that's graveyard stuff. Interesting. Okay. I mean, maybe... I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. And we also have Uthros Titanic God Core in the alt art, by the way, for the planet. Borderless alt art card. That is very nice. I don't think we need this for limited, but I mean, our blue-black is kind of crazy. It's just that, like, again, this isn't really for limited, and I don't know. I don't love this one. We obviously are going to be doing landfall, and like having lands in our, or playing lands from our graveyard with this thing milling us, not bad. Not bad at all. It's just It's weird. It's very weird. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you're in a landfall deck, do you play this thing? Because you could mill stuff that you don't want to be milling. But behind our foil rare, we finally have a full art land. This pack is insane. That one pack had a rare in Uthros, Titanic Godcore, a foil rare in Icetail Explorer, and our first full art land of the video in this Plains. We also have a Lander / Human Soldier token. That's really, really cool pack. Really, really cool. Okay, next we have a Starbreach Whale again, our second one of these. Again, another warp card, not bad at all. Starport Security, okay, we're getting a lot of duplicates. Germinating Worm, is that just these kits? Do they just like, do all the packs have just the same cards in them? I don't understand. Orbital Plunge, that's a new one and a good one. It makes a lander, it's removal. We're, trying to be in the landfall deck, possibly, hopefully. We have Embrace Oblivion again, that's the second one of these, that's a good one. We have Galactic Wayfarer, makes a lander, and it's a 3-mana 3/3. Absolutely insane. We have a Chrome Companion. This is the cutest card in the set. I love this guy so much. So much. He is perfect, and I never want him to die, but he is great. We go through that too. Our first uncommon, Susurian Dirgecraft, which, I mean, come on. This is absolutely a Phil Collins joke, right? Susurian. Anyway, we have Susurian Dirgecraft as our first uncommon. They sack a non-token creature for 5 mana. Yeah, this one's probably not good enough. They like sack one of their 1/1s or 2/2s or something, and you paid 5 mana, and then you have to put 7 power into this. I'm not a big fan. But that's our, like I said, our first uncommon. Next is Hemosymbic Might. Now, this card is green, and we're trying to be green-red. If we don't have a lot of like +1/+1 counter stuff, this card's fine, because it says whenever it becomes tapped. Well, if we're not doing Spacecraft, and we're not doing +1/+1 counters, then you have to attack with this thing for its ability to go off, so then it's not that great. But if we get some +1/+1 counter stuff, and then this thing can get big and turn sideways and make something else bigger as well, not bad at all. And an All Fates Stalker. This card is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Warp to, like, reset counters on some of your opponent's creatures, or you can get your creature out of like a pacifism effect or something, or like a tap effect, stun counters, things like that. You can, and that's with the warp ability. Obviously, with the full ability, you can just get rid of their worst creature if you just play the card out. But the fact that it has warp, at first I remember looking at this thing and being like, is that good? Why would you warp it to like take their thing? And then, but yeah, you can, if you have your creature has an enter the battlefield effect, you can do that. There are a lot of different options with this card. I really, really like this. Our next card then is a Cavarone Harrier. This is also a good one. I would absolutely play this in red in this deck that we're talking about. This is a good one. You can make 2/2s. So you like your hope is to play this on turn 1, attack with it on turn 2, pay 2, get a 2/2 like that's tapped and attacking. That's not bad at all. And then our rare or mythic in this pack is a Loading Zone. This cares about counters. If one or more counters would be put on a creature, spacecraft, or planet, twice that many of that kind are put on it instead, and it's 4 mana for that enchantment or 1 mana to warp it. If we don't have ways of putting counters on things, this isn't going to be good enough. It's just not. But it's pretty cool nonetheless. So, I don't know if I would play this one. I guess, like I said, I'd have to look for landfall stuff. Or, sorry, +1/+1 counter stuff. We have landfall stuff. Anyway, behind this one, we have our foil is a Cavarone Skywarden. I already talked about not really liking this guy, so there's that. But the foiling pattern's okay. The energy that he's shooting out there is pretty cool. Behind that, our land is a regular plains, nice, and a lander / robot token. 3 more packs to go. We've got an Insatiable Skittermaw. Interesting. That's a good one. We haven't really seen many of those or one of those before. This is our 3rd Skybreach Whale. So many duplicates. Another Starport Security, 3rd one of those as well. 3rd Germinating Worm. I mean, I'll probably play, again, we talked about this with 5 drops with 2 costed warp. Would I play 3 of these? Maybe. I mean, it's a 5 mana 5/5 gain 2 life. or it's a 2-mana 5/5 gain 2 life, and then later a 5-mana 5/5 gain 2 life. Like, I don't know. I would at least play 2. You tell me if I would play 3, or if you would play 3. And another Orbital Plunge is very nice. This I will absolutely play 2 of. Very, very good. Red Tiger Mechan gets in for sure. That's a good one. A Swarm Color, not a bad card. A Broodguard Elite. Yes, there's some +1/+1 counter strategy stuff. And that's our first uncommon in this one. I like this guy. And another Interceptor Mechan is our second uncommon. And a Tractor Beam again is the third, which means our next card is a Sunstar Lightsmith. I actually like this one. So again, I think our white is pretty okay, but I still like our red and green better, personally. But yeah, this is a good one, which means our next rare or mythic is... Ooh, an Infinite Guideline Station. Obviously, for limited, I do not like this card at all, but it's very pretty. So, I mean, I'm happy to have one, I guess, but interesting. 5 Wooburg for a legendary artifact spacecraft that, with 12 plus power into it, becomes a 7/15 flyer. But when it enters, you make a tapped 2/2 for each multicolored permanent you control. Yeah, we're not going to have a lot of that. This is not great for limited at all, but in the right deck, it's probably incredible. So yeah, there's that. Behind it, our foil is a Dual Sun Adepts uncommon foil. So yeah, like I said, our white is good in this kit too, man. I really like it. Like, this is a good card. The foiling's okay, but this is a good card in general. Double Striker can pump the team. We have a Swamp, regular Swamp, and a Lander/Robot token. 2 packs to go in kit 2. We have a Cloud Sculpt Technician. I like this guy. That's a pretty good one. Bright Spear Zealot. Not bad, not bad. Sky Stinger. This one's very good. Obviously, a 3-mana 3/3 is just incredible. The fact that it has reach is cool. And then the fact that it can, like, knock spacecraft out of the sky is very nice, right? It's an 8/3 blocker on a flyer. Very nice. Cavarone Turbo Drone gets in, no question. Great card. It's a 3-mana 2/3 on its own, which is great. But the fact that it can tap to give +1/+1 and haste to something, it's only as a sorcery, but I mean, who cares? You're going to play out a big thing, right? We have a bunch of, like, we have those big 5/5s in green. Tap this, make it a 6/6 the turn you play it, and swing for 6. Insane. Absolutely insane. This gets in, no question. We have a Gravpack Monoist. I like this one too. It's a 2/1 flyer that dies into a 2/2 on the ground. Not bad at all. A Zookeeper Mechan. This one gets into, it taps for mana. It's a red mana dork. Absolutely. Late game, you can pay 7, only as a sorcery, but still, not bad at all. I would definitely do that, especially we're in the landfall deck, right? You're going to try to be getting lands. We have a Command Bridge again. Again, we're not really splashing, so I probably wouldn't. Like, if we were trying to make this work or whatever, I would probably play as many of these as I opened. Right now, I probably wouldn't play any. We have another Broodguard Elite. Yes, please. 2 of these. This art looks very faded. I guess they were running out of ink or something. Compared to the other Broodguard Elite, this is a very faded art. I don't know if you all can tell that too, but it's very faded. But I would play this, 100%. We have another Interceptor Mechan. So many duplicates, man. These, like, this printing is so weird. Why did they do that? And another Tractor Beam. That's absolutely insane. Okay, and so then our next card is another, literally exactly the same uncommons as the last pack. Exactly the same. That's so weird. Okay, well, let's see if it continues. Our rare or mythic is... Okay, different. Good. It's a Rust Harvester. It exiles artifacts from our graveyard. I don't know how many of those we're going to have because the Lander tokens are tokens. They don't go to the graveyard. So even though this is a red rare and we're looking at playing red and green, I don't know that I would play this one, personally. I would count our artifacts, though, I guess. But interesting. So there's Rust Harvester. Our foil behind it is another Gravpack Monoist. I talked about liking the other one, but not for this deck, right? We don't have a lot of good black cards. But look at that. That's really cool foiling. I like that a lot. Okay. Behind the Monoist, another foil. Swamp this time. That's really cool looking in foil as well. I like that. Okay. Behind it, we have a Lander/Robot. 1 pack to go in kit 2 of 3. So 1 more kit to go after this as well. But we start with, I like this one, a Weft Blade Enhancer. Another warp card with +1/+1 counters, right? Shattered Wings. This is This is almost main deckable, and if we were best of oneing on Arena, I would consider it even harder, but if we're talking about pre-release, this is probably a sideboard card unless I really need a 23rd. A Nebula Dragon. This is a little expensive, but we do have the 1 mana dork, and we're doing landfall, right? So hopefully we have a lot of cards that make landers and stuff to make sure that we hit our land drops. It's a 4/4 flyer that deals 3 damage when it enters to any target, by the way. So that could be your opponent's face, it could kill one of their creatures, whatever it is. You could play it post-combat after they've like blocked with stuff. So this card, one of these gets in. If we got like a second one, I don't really know, but this one gets in. We have a Grav Kill again, not bad at all. And a Self-Craft Mechan. I actually like this one. Again, cares about artifacts or sacking artifacts, but I mean, this guy combined with the orbs, I forget what they're called, the icy orbs in this one, where you can like put stun counters on things and draw a card when it goes away. You just use this, sack those orbs, and draw 2 cards. Like, that's absolutely incredible. And put a counter on something. Absolutely incredible. I love this card with that combo. Another command bridge. See, so a second one of those. If we were trying to do the Wooburg thing, I would play both of these. Instead, we're doing 2 colors, and so I will not be playing either of these. Yeah, we get another one of these Zookeeper Mechans. Yeah, the duplicates in these packs is dumb. Actually dumb. But I would absolutely play 2 of them. So there's that. Another Melt, or not another, I guess they were from the other kit, but a Melt Strider Eulogist, I would absolutely play this as well. A Survey Mechan again, and a Scout for Survivors, which means our next card is another, okay, it's our rare, and another Ice Till Explorer. Notably, they are not legendary, so there is that. You could have both on the field at the same time. But I didn't even know if I was going to play the first one. Now I got 2 of them. I guess it's a 4-mana 2/4. I don't know. Like I said, let me know in the comments down below. Would you play Ice Till Explorer? It's got, you know, it gives you benefits for your lands and stuff, and we are trying to do landfall, so why not? Second Ice Till Explorer, followed by our next card, because it could be another rare or mythic, or it could be our foil, is another rare in Entropic Battle Cruiser. This art is gorgeous, by the way. Absolutely love this artwork. I thought it was in, like, just because of how cool it looks, I like was ready to show the foiling pattern to you. It's not foil. That's just what this looks like. It's also not bad. I mean, you need 8. No, actually, yeah, it's 4 mana. You need 8 into it to be able to get it going. So no, maybe I don't love it. I lied to you. I guess if you're in black, right? We're not in black with this deck, but if you're in black and you have some of those, cards that like you can look at their hand and make them discard a card from it, then this is fine because you put like 1 power into it to get that going, and that's not hard. And then they can you make them discard a card and they lose 3 life. Like, that's pretty good. And then eventually maybe getting to 8+ on this, but yeah, I don't know. I would default to saying this is bad and I wouldn't play it even in a black deck. But I guess if you have a lot of those, like search through their hand for stuff and make them discard it, then I would consider this. But for this deck, I'm definitely not considering it at all. Now, our foil is a foil Hemosymbic Might. I mean, do we have enough +1/+1 counter strategy cards to play at even one of these, let alone 2? I'm not so sure. Maybe? Again, comments down below. You could let me know. I mean, we've got those 2 uncommon guys that like warp in with X green, well, X and green for warp, and then later on X green to play out of warp, where when it dies or goes away, then you get the counters on something else. And so you can put the counters on this off warp. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, 1-drop creatures are important, so I would probably play both of these, I suppose. But behind it, our land is a regular plains and a lander/robot token. Okay, we have, I mean, yeah, so like I said, I would probably try the landfall deck with this one. Is it the best choice? I don't know. There are a lot of random Kavus in there because we have the Possibility Technician as well. So sure, I mean, I would do that. Play red-green Kavus / landfall. Okay, and then our third and final gives us what? Hopefully it gives us a non-white die. That's step 1. It is a non-white die. In fact, it's a black die. That is very nice. Cool. Okay. That's perfect. I'll trade for the rest during the weekend and or other ones that I open throughout the course of this. When I open stuff after the event, if I purchase any. We will move the packs off to the side. And then our promo foil, rare or mythic, is a Sun Star Chaplain. Okay. I mean, the foiling pattern's fine. We opened a lot of these during the big opening. Champion had a lot of these cards. And by the way, if you're unaware, this store is bumping right now. Hopefully you've been able to hear the people in the background. And you should check the top link in the description down below. It'll take you to Champion's website. If you're anywhere near the Poughkeepsie, New York area, you should definitely check out Champion and let them know Geek for All sent you. Okay, so this wants to be in the go wide strategy, right? Because it wants, or actually, I mean, again, it wants tapped creatures. So I want it in the go wide strategy. This may want it in the spacecraft strategy, but I don't. So anyway, this is the card I was talking about before, the Cryogen Relic. So when it enters or leaves, you draw a card, and then when it and then you can tap to sack it and put a stun counter on something, on a tapped creature. But yeah, I really like this card in conjunction with that other one that I was talking about, the 4-drop. We have a Squire's Light Blade, a Gene Pollinator, Bombard, very good burn spell. 4 damage to a creature, instant speed for 3. Dark Endurance. Okay. Not bad, not bad. Depressurize again. Very good. Melt Strider's Gear. I genuinely don't know what I'm looking at here art-wise, but I'm also not in love with this card. I'm really not. Not a big fan of this one, personally. We have another Specimen Freighter. It's fine. It bounces 2 things. I've seen 6 mana cards that do just that, right? That just bounce 2 things. And so then later on, if this sits around and gets to 9+, great. So I would probably play this, but it's definitely not like I'm windmill slamming super happy about jumping up and down about it. But it's our first uncommon, and it's very awesome art, and the spacecraft look really cool with their the different border and stuff. We have a Terrapact Intimidator, again, good one, talked about that earlier, and an Alpha Real Dreaming Acolyte as our third uncommon. Not bad. I mean, it's a 2/3 Death Touch on your turn, draw 2, discard 2 or 1 artifact. Not bad, not bad. Card draw is good. So our next card is another Watery Grave. Another Watery Grave. Okay. I mean, I guess this card likes us, huh? That's really cool. But it also means, by the way, I think this is universally a thing, but every time I've opened a watery, or not a Watery Grave, but a Shockland, there's also been another rare mythic. So our next card is, a Gene Morph Imago. This is a very, very good card. Making one of your creatures a 3/3 until end of turn, or if you have 6 or more lands, it's base power and toughness 3/3, but it would make it base power and toughness 6/6 instead. Not bad at all. Next, our foil is a foil Terrapact Intimidator. 2 of these, huh? That's pretty cool. I'm a fan of that. Behind it, a mountain and a lander/robot token. Okay, next. I genuinely don't know what direction I want to go yet with this one. I won't lie. But we can keep going and see. We've got a Starfighter Pilot. That's interesting. Sammy's Curiosity. Okay, this card I like actually quite a bit as a turn 1 play. Slag Drill Scrapper. Yes, please. That's also a good one. Obviously, it needs to be in the right deck, but I like it. It does pretty well. Decode Transmissions. Not bad. Even without Void being triggered, pretty good. We have an Ilvoy Operative after that. An Exosuit Savior. I love this art, by the way. I know we saw one earlier, but I just really like this art. A Zookeeper Mechan again. Very good card, this one. Really good. A Chrome Companion. I love him. He's so adorable. An Umbral Collar Zealot is our first uncommon. I mean, I've seen some good sack stuff in here so far. Green, red and black, right? That's pretty good. We have an Honored Knight Captain. This is also a good card. And an Unravel. We saw one of these earlier as well, which means our next card is A Zoophyte Osteoharmonist again, huh? Okay. I mean, not the alt art version. This is the regular art, but still an incredible card nonetheless. And again, if we're doing sacrifice stuff, right, you're going to have good, or serviceable creatures in your graveyard, creatures to target with this. And so, you just need power and toughness. And again, if you're putting bodies on the board that have no abilities and don't get like finality counters or something, you can just sack it again and then get it back with Zoophyte the next turn again. So you just kind of loop it over and over again. That's really cool. So maybe at least we're in black, and then if we do Watery Grave, or if we do blue, we can play Watery Grave, is more what I was getting at. So maybe we do black-green for the Gene Morph Imago, and then splash blue with Watery Grave. That would be fun, huh? Anyway, our foil is a Flight Deck Coordinator. I mean, we do have to, again, talk about all the white that we're getting. Not bad. This one's not, like, I'm not in love with this one, right? Gain 2 life, but it's a 3-mana 3/3. You can't ignore that. And then we have a Forest, again, a nice one, and a Lander/Robot token. Okay, 4 more packs to go, right? Yeah, 4 more. 4 more to go. Notably, 1 Mythic we've opened in this entire video, just 1, and only 1 Stellar Sights card. Very interesting. I think all of the, like the weird, like, duplicate cards in the pack kind of screwed us over a little bit, it feels like. We have a Perigee Beckoner. I would absolutely play this if we're playing black. Great card. Another Cryogen Relic. That's 2 of these. They're very good. And again, with sack cards, maybe we are just black-blue. We have another Squire's Lightblade. Here we go with the duplicates again. Gene Pollinator. Another Bombard. I mean, Bombard's good, but again, these are all the duplicates from before. Another Dark Endurance. Okay, this is a different one. In Wormwall Sweeper, but not the one you want. I'm not in love with this one. It's fine. I mean, like, again, this one, 2 mana, Surveil 2 when it enters, so that's fine. And then for 4+, it's a 2/2 flyer, but, like, it's still 4+. Like, that's a lot of work to get to a 2/2 flyer, right? Anyway, usually they're just 3 mana instead of 2 mana and 4 power into it. Like, it just feels like a lot. We have a Nanoform Sentinel. A Lightless Evangel. Here we go. Yeah, we definitely want to be in the sack deck. Look at this thing. Absolutely incredible. That's our first uncommon. A Sunstar Expansionist is the second. Okay, you could make a lander and it has landfall, even though it's white. We have an Atomic Microsizer as well. Not terrible, right? You make something base power and toughness 1/1 and it can't be blocked. Okay, interesting. And then our next card, right, because those were our 3 uncommons, is a Sunstar Chaplain again. That's 2 of them in this kit. Yeah, like I said, duplicates like crazy. What is happening? Notably, again, still not legendary. These 2 as well, just like the Ice Till Explorers weren't. So this isn't legendary. We could have more than 1 of them, and then you would put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control twice if you have 2 or more tapped creatures. So it's not terrible, it's just annoying that there are so many duplicates. Behind it, our foil is an Honored Knight Captain in foil. That's not bad. I genuinely don't remember. You all have the benefit of going back in the video. I think the Honored Knight Captain that we opened was in the last kit, not in this one. But something to note, considering that we have some pretty good white so far. And that foiling pattern is kind of crazy. I like it. Our land is a regular island and a Lander/Robot token. 3 more packs to go. We've got an Ilvoy Lightjammer as our first card. Not bad. Not amazing, but not bad. We have another Starfighter Pilot, an Ice Cave Crasher, Orbital Plunge, very nice, Beam Saw Prospector, Ilvoy Galeblade, Flash Flyer 1/1 for 1, tap 2, sack it and draw a card. Okay, not amazing, but not bad. Mechanozoa I very much like. Warp, stun it, play it later for 6, 5/5, stun something, like, or it's not stun it, stun something. But that's really cool. We have our first uncommon in Pulsar Squadron Ace. Our second is a Null. A Null has been reprinted in this set. And a Harmonious Grove Strider, which means our next card is an Umbral Collar Zealot, another uncommon, and notably, it's our second one of these. This is unconditional sacrifice. You can just do it at any time, instant speed or otherwise. You don't have to pay any cost. You just do it. So 2 of these in a sack strategy, very, very good. And you have Zoophyte as well to get stuff back. This is absolutely incredible. I'm super happy that this kit is really good so far. Behind it, our rare or mythic is nice. A Mutinous Massacre alt art. I probably wouldn't play this because I at least haven't seen our red looking especially incredible, personally. But maybe I'm forgetting stuff, but it feels like we want to be in white or, white or blue as our second color to our black, at least as of right now. Behind this card, our foil is, yes, a Lost in Space in foil. That's incredible. I was talking about how cool that art is, or those colors are, and now you can see those cool colors in foil. I love that. Okay. Behind Lost in Space, another full art planes. The only full art lands we've opened are planes. Okay, fine, I guess. And a robot / munitions token. First munitions token we've seen. We'd used that to good effect in the streamer event, the munitions card. That was fun. 2 more packs to go in the entire video, y'all. The whole thing. We have a Nutrient Block as our first card. Ice Cave Crasher. Frontline War Rager. Insatiable Skittermaw. I would play this. I mean, we have Void, right? Or we have ways of triggering Void with sacrifice outlets, so that's good. Starbreach Whale again. Again, not in this kit again, but still, we've seen many. A Pinnacle Killship again. Lost in Space again. Interesting. I don't know that I would play more than 2 of these since they're 4 mana, but they're not bad. We have an Atmospheric Greenhouse. This one's kind of cool. 5 mana to put a counter on each creature you control. Then if you station at 8+, it's a 5/4 flying trample. But if you don't, you still got to put a counter on each creature you control. It is 5 mana. So not a windmill slam, but not bad. Not bad at all. We have an All Fates Scroll. It's a mana rock, taps for 1 mana of any color. And that is pretty good. And then later on, of course, you can draw some cards. But yeah, I mean, if you're trying to do fixing, this is a pretty good card to help you with that. And that's our second uncommon. And Litho Breaking is the third, making another lander. But again, not for this kit so far. Our next rare or mythic is, wow, a Stellar Sights card in Terrain Generator. So I talked about only having opened 1. Now we have another in Terrain Generator. I don't think we need this particular land in our deck, but it's cool that I opened it. I'm glad that I opened it. Behind it, do we have another rare mythic? Because I don't know that this counts, does it? We do. We have, oh God, Pain for All. It's just very close to the name of our channel, and it upsets me. Amy likes this guy. We're not looking at red for this set, or for this kit, I mean. But I mean, it's a good card from what we've seen, which again upsets me more because if I see it, I want to play it. It's just, like I said, it's just so close to the name of our channel. Anyway, behind it, our foil is, a Eusocial Engineering. We're not in this deck, right? We're doing the sacrifice stuff. I don't know that we know what our second color is, but again, we're looking at white and blue so far. So it's definitely not green, but this foiling is amazing. I like that a lot. And it's a foil uncommon and also a pretty good card. We have a Plains and a Lander / Robot. We have 1 pack to go, everybody. 1 more. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. I hope that you're enjoying or have enjoyed, and that you stick around and watch more stuff that we have. In fact, we have a second video that came out tonight, so hopefully you have seen it or are going to look at it after to see what other people have opened from this set, because, I don't know, so far I've been a little underwhelmed in terms of, like, power level. I mean, 2 Watery Graves is cool, but otherwise only 1 Mythic? Like, I don't know. We have an Ilvoy Lightjammer, a Starfighter Pilot, Sammy's Curiosity, Slag Drill Scrapper, lots of duplicates again, Decode Transmissions in the same order, by the way. That's more what upsets me, right? Like, duplicates is fine, because you can play any number of commons, uncommons, whatever, rares even, that you open. There's no restriction in limited. The issue is the fact that they're in the same order. Like, I'd like to see some different cards, especially if they're not good, right? And we just see them over and over again. Anyway, we have a Thawbringer, A Thaumaton Torpedo. A Remnant Elemental is our first uncommon. A Dubious Delicacy is the second. This is absolutely getting in. I love this card. Love, love, love it. And it says sacrifice. So even if we don't have a sack outlet in general, this does it for us. And it gives -3/-3 when it enters. Like, what more do you need? This card is phenomenal. We have Servandin the Lucent, or Servandim the Lucent, as our third uncommon as well. I don't think we could splash white for this thing, but again, I guess if we're in white, maybe this tells us that we want to be in white. When it enters or attacks, all of our other creatures get +1/+0 and Death Touch until end of turn. That's pretty good, and it's a 5-mana 4/4 Death Touch lifelink on its own. Yeah, maybe we're in black and white. That's pretty good, pretty damn good. Maybe you disagree and you think our blue is better, and I would love to know that from you in the comments down below. And of course, we could splash blue if we really wanted to, but like, we would need to know like 1 or 2 cards that would be good enough to splash, and I feel like the stuff that we opened is just good, but like, I don't know. I don't know that there's anything that pulls me away, but, you know, like I said, let me know. But our last, rare or mythic, unless we get lucky with the foil, is... oh no, I'm sorry. I guess that was our third uncommon. So here's our fourth in Code Cracker Hound. Look at this adorable dog, but also a very weird looking dog. Okay, I mean, you can like look at the top 2, put one in your hand and the other into your graveyard twice because it's got warp for the same cost as it is to play it, and it's a 2/1 dog. Okay, again, not jumping out of my seat about it, but it's fine. Like if we were in blue, it would get in, but if we're splashing, it would not. And so, sorry, I should say now, our rare mythic is... We have another Cryogen Relic, but now we have Alpha Real Stone Chosen as our alt art mythic in this pack. Thank you. That is much better. I was like, we only opened a planet as our only mythic, and 2 Watery Graves again, so don't get me wrong. I'm still happy about that. But this is much more what I was talking about. And our black in this pack is insane. So there's that as well. And I mean, you know, them losing half their life rounded up feels pretty good with Void. So, okay, that's pretty great. He absolutely gets in, and that's a gorgeous piece of art, if that needs to be said. And then behind it, you saw already, we have a third Cryogen Relic, but we got none of the 4-drop that could sack it and draw 2 cards for us. So, yeah, I mean, I really like this card, but I don't know that I can play blue just because we have this or these. But again, let me know in the comments down below. Do you think we had enough blue in this kit, or do you agree with me and we should go white with the black? We have a Swamp behind that and a Lander/Robot token. I mean, I know I just opened it. It's kind of boring, but it's also not. I mean, it's like the best... Probably the best card that we opened today. Maybe the land is more expensive because of the fact that it's, you know, going to be able to be used for constructed purposes better than this, but for limited purposes, the planet is not really what I'm trying to do, and this worked very well with the deck that we opened. So hopefully you all enjoyed this video. As a reminder, I am filming this thing live from Champion Card Collector in Poughkeepsie, New York. You can check the top link in the description down below to take you to Champion's website, so please feel free to do that. We really appreciate them having us here for this event. You can also check out, like I said, all the other stuff that we did around this set on the channel. Hopefully those were linked for you up in the top right-hand corner, so you can go check those out to see all the cool stuff that we've been doing around this set. We opened a lot of product, we played a lot of Magic, and we're going to go walk around the store and see what all these folks that are here for this event have been opening and talk to all of you about this set. So please feel free to check all those things out. If you're enjoying the things that we're doing here on this channel, please don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell so that you will get notifications whenever any of our videos come out, including more of these when the next set comes out, which is going to be Spider-Man. So stay tuned for more of that. Also, don't forget that if you're unaware, I guess I should say, we have 2 other channels. Links down in the description box below for Video Games for All and Gluten Free for All. Also in those links down below, there's a lot of important stuff. We have both of our Instagram accounts, Geek for All and Gluten Free for All. My wife Amy doing an incredible job over on those 2, so you should check those out. If you want to join our community over on Discord, you can. That is also linked down there. And then, of course, if you're enjoying all the things that we're doing on any and all of our channels, social medias, etc., we would really appreciate if you would consider supporting us on Patreon. Thank you all so very much for joining us and for watching. We hope that you enjoyed. And for now, from us here at the Geek for All family of channels, I have been Joe, here from Champion. And as we always say, in whichever video of ours you watch next, we will see you all next time. Thanks, everybody.